The movie starts with a girl double dating. Both the males were each other's best friends. But the problem started when the lady got pregnant. Hello friends, today I'll be explaining a movie named Ending, Beginnings, 2019. It ends with a very complex message. Do watch the video until the end. Movie starts with the introduction of our main character Daphne. Recently, she broke up. There were some problems going on in her workplace, so she left her job and came to visit her sister's place for some time. She wanted a break from her hectic routine. Her sister has a young daughter who enjoys the company of Daphne. Daphne tries to control herself a lot in the daytime. She tries to gel up with people around her. In the night she cries a lot as she misses her ex-boyfriend. In her last job she used to work in an art gallery and she also enjoys painting. Now she has joined an art class where she has some friends as her classmates. She shared her sorrows of her past relationship with her friends. She said she had hopes that she would marry her ex-boyfriend and they'll live happily ever after. Now she was getting hopeless. She thought just like her mother, she'll also spend her entire life searching for a true lover. Back then, when her mother got divorced thereafter she had many boyfriends but she never settled for one. Now Daphne decides she'll take a break of 6 months from dating. She will enjoy her freedom. Nowadays, she is in search of a new job, but she didn't find one. As Christmas is near, she goes to meet her mother. Her mother now has a new boyfriend. Daphne's mother expected she'll come with her boyfriend as she was not aware about her breakup. So, she tells her mother that they are no longer together. Her mother says she knew it wouldn't work well between the two as there was no spark in their relationship. Listening to this, Daphne gets a flashback about her previous relationship. She thought her relationship was similar to that of old couples. They never tried new things. On 31st December, Daphne's sister threw a party. She was standing alone as she didn't have any friends there. Then, Frank introduced himself to her and asked what she was doing there. She said she was taking a break. Frank asked whom was she hiding from? Daphne just wanted him to leave her alone. He then stood some distance from her and started talking from there. He was trying to be funny and was also extremely charming. As Daphne was on a break from relationships, she didn't talk much with him. Later on, in the party she meets another main character, Jack. Daphne has talked to Jack previously. She knew he was a writer. He also knew Daphne, and she worked in the art gallery. While talking, Daphne told Jack that she is living with her sister. Then, she told everything about her breakup to Jack. She already knew him, so it felt really easy talking to him. Jack told Daphne that she is making herself feel bad. She thinks she has done something wrong but there is nothing to worry about. We always think we are bad, but there is nothing like that. Daphne was enjoying talking to Jack. The next morning, Frank messaged Daphne. He sent some sad songs to her on Spotify. She asked him how he got her number. Frank further asked if she was still in a bad mood. To which Daphne replied, that she is fine. The next day, Jack came to meet her when she was at her temporary workplace. He offered her drinks. She replied, I don't drink nowadays, but she can accompany him while he drinks. Then, they fixed a date but Daphne made it clear that we are just friends. On the date, Jack told Daphne that she is truly unique. He further added that wants to know her more and wants a good long conversation with her. They spent their time by talking about different things on their date. She also told Jack that she used to design and sell pots. She felt joyful doing that. Jack praised her. While they were conversing, Frank texted Daphne and he asked to fix a meet for both of them. The next day, they met each other. Frank was upset as she denied him and went on a date with Jack. She didn't get to know about Jack and Daphne's meeting. Then, he told her that he and Jack were best friends. Daphne apologized and told that she is not interested in relationships, she just wants a break from all this. She also added that she shouldn't talk to both Jack and Frank. When she was about to leave, they hugged and kissed each other. Since they met from the very first time, both of them were powerfully attracted towards each other. They then got intimate. The following day, Frank texted Daphne telling her that he had a conversation with Jack and she need not to worry about anything. Daphne then asked what he told Jack. To which Frank replied he doesn't know much about them. Daphne then says that Frank and her cannot date as she is not interested in a relationship. Later on, Jack texts Daphne that he feels something special between the two and wants to explore it with her. She gave a thought to this and the next day she went to meet Jack. Both of them felt compelled around each other. They talk a lot and both of them enjoy smoking. Daphne asked Jack about his and Frank's friendship. Jack tells her that he is his best friend, still he isn't that dependable. He disappears often. He took money from him but never returned. He cannot build good relationships with women. His last girlfriend got destroyed because of him. Both of them started building a good bond and they got close physically that night. The next day, When Daphne brought her niece back home, her sister and her husband were fighting over Daphne. As her husband didn't like that Daphne was staying at their place. She heard all the conversation and she moved into a rented house by selling the ring which her ex-boyfriend gave her while proposing to her for marriage. After moving, in her belongings she found a letter which his ex-boyfriend wrote for her. The letter stated, "It might happen we are poles apart from each other, but in our next birth we'll find each other." He believed Daphne was perfect for him. He wanted commitment from Daphne, but she wasn't ready to give it. This was the reason they broke up. In later scenes we see Jack and Daphne are getting good with each other. One day, Frank texted Daphne that you have moved on in full. Daphne told me I'm in the process of moving on. She said she was thinking about him. After a few days, Jack was about to go out of town for some work, but he was worried where his dog would stay. To which Daphne said he can live with me. But Jack said he'll take care of his dog on his own. That night, Jack threw a party where Frank was also invited. In the party, it was noticeable that Frank and Daphne were gazing at each other. One day, Frank came to Daphne's home and gave his dog to her, saying she has to take care of him. To which she replied, in her apartment dogs are not allowed. He handed over the dog and left. After some time, he came back to give the dog's leash to her. Both of them were frustrated towards each other, so they started kissing each other. They then again got intimated. Daphne went with him to different places after Frank asked her to go with her. One night Frank took her to a party, where everyone was enjoying her singing. While she was singing in the middle, Frank left from there. She followed her and observed that he was taking drugs. She confronted him, and in return Frank told, "Our relationship is going smoothly, don't create any hindrance to it." Because of these habits, Daphne cannot stay with Frank, so she breaks up with him and she gets a bit late while coming home. Then she realized today is her sister's baby shower. She arrived late to the party, so her sister's friends were back bitching about her. Daphne didn't like it, so she left the party. Later on she told the whole situation to her friend Ingrid. Ingrid asks her, "How did all of this happen?" "Daphne, that's the question, how did that happen?" In the next scene, Jack returned from his trip. Daphne hid all the things about Frank from him. She was getting bored, so she asked Jack to visit a club for dancing. There she saw one of his coworkers who took her to his home forcefully just to get intimate with her when she was drunk, but Daphne managed to stop him. She got disturbed after that incident. That night she stared at him in her eyes and the guy felt fearful. Nowadays her relationship with Jack is going really well. One day she was feeling uneasy, so self-tested her and she got to know she was pregnant. In the next scene we see Jack got a new job in a different country, and he was ready to continue her long-distance relationship with her. He told me he'll be visiting her once or twice a month. Daphne was really confused about the baby. So, she told everything about Frank to Jack. She wasn't aware the baby belonged to whom? Jack really got hurt listening to this. And he asked Daphne to get out of her home. Then she went to her friend Ingrid and she was confused if she should keep that baby or go for abortion. Then Ingrid leaves the decision on her will by saying, "Whatever you do, your coming life will be amazing." She also said to Daphne that you were always in search of love, but now you have a baby. If you give birth to this baby, he'll love you throughout his life. Daphne decided she'll keep the baby. Later on, she met Jack and said that she has hurted people her entire life, but now she doesn't want to hurt anyone. She got a new perspective after this baby. She wanted to change and become a better person. Jack was really happy after hearing from Daphne, but he didn't want her in his life. Nowadays, Daphne looks at young children and she feels splendid. In the next scene, we see Daphne's mother marries her boyfriend. Daphne was sitting alone from the gathering. Her mother came to her saying, "You might have thought I made many mistakes throughout my life by finding different partners just to have a good father for you." Her mother apologized and Daphne forgave her for the same. Daphne once called to her old job and explained her situation to them, and she got her job back. After some time, she found Frank in a shopping center. Nowadays, Frank is dating someone else, but later on he messaged Daphne and asked her to meet. Frank asks if he is the father of that baby. In the reply she said, "My daughter is just mine." Jack and Frank both left her, so she doesn't want to share her daughter with anyone. Frank was also ready to have a baby with her present girlfriend. In the next scene, Daphne texts her ex-boyfriend. She also met her mother and her mother asks her to live with them so that she can take care of Daphne and her baby. Daphne was really happy after seeing her mother's support towards her. She then moved in with her mother. She was never interested in settling down with anyone. She wanted to experience change every other moment. Eventually, she realized wherever she is, she's happy in that place. She doesn't want to run anywhere. She was really happy with her present situation. She in the end was satisfied that the love she hasn't gotten throughout her life, she'll give that love to her beloved daughter. She also realized no matter what, parents always love their kids. On this note we end this video. Do like, share, subscribe if you enjoyed listening.